Okay, great. So, short time. Hello, welcome to a live clarity session where we call it the Ask Dr. Aderinsola Anything. And in tonight's edition, we'll be talking about how to earn a high global income or advance your career. That's the topic of tonight, how to earn a high global income or advance your career. That is what I'll be talking about. And it's been a while we did clarity session. I'm not even sure we've done any clarity session this year. So we've asked that you fill a Google form to ask your questions, and let's see how we can help you earn a high income globally and also advance your career, depending on what you brought here. So here's what's going to happen tonight. Before we get to the questions, we already have some questions on the Google form. But before we get to the question part, if you are joining me on Zoom, hi. If you are joining me on Instagram, hello. So how does this work? Ask Dr. Aderinsola anything. It's basically you need to ask me questions around how to earn a higher income, how to earn a globally, or how to actually do both. So those are the kind of questions you can ask me, especially around clarity. I typically say, oh, I do not entertain Google questions, but I entertain clarity questions because you are wondering, how do I get this done? Now, also in this clarity session, based on the topic of the day, which is how to earn a high income globally and also advance your career, I always do a bit small teaching around the topic of the day, then we go to the question. So if you have any questions, especially if you're on Zoom, please, you can use the raise hand button. So once I just am done teaching, I'm hoping we can keep this class under 30 minutes, maximum of 45 minutes. I'm hoping I can keep it under 45 minutes. It's been a very long day for me. So let's get right to it. Now, the topic of the day, I'm going to start with a question, which says, aside the 4 major technical skills, are there other skills that are marketable or can increase employability? So this person is probably talking about the kind of programs we currently offer at the academy, which is the project management, the product management, the content creation, and social media management, and the workplace fundamental skills. So he's saying apart from 3, not actually 4, the major skills that we have mentioned in the no-code tech career, are there other marketable destiny that can increase employability? So that question is like 2 different questions, but I get what the person is trying to ask, that are there other high income careers in the tech space apart from what we have at the academy? If you've ever attended the IT Africa Foundation's thing, we have 40 emerging careers that we have listed. 40 emerging careers, as in 40 emerging careers. And those 40 emerging careers, they all command a high income. In fact, fun fact, cybersecurity, for instance, is one of those fields that the amount of money you're going to get by being a professional in that space is going to be just mind-blowing. But in you choosing a technical career, I always say something. Do not choose a technical career simply as a result of the income, especially when you're getting into the emerging field. For instance, the cybersecurity guys, what do? They simply are trying to catch those people who are trying to hack into our accounts. They are trying to stop the bad guys. That is what they majorly do. Now, if that is what they majorly do, it simply means that it is a back-end job, meaning that it's not marketing. It's not a forward-facing role. It is not sales. It's not a forward-facing role. So what it means is, should you be transitioning careers, ask yourself, am I comfortable with a back-end role? Do you understand? Am I comfortable with that? Do I want to learn how to code? All those things? You must ask yourself those important questions. Am I the kind of person that derives fun in trying to find the bad guys? When you ask those questions, it helps you, because I always say, even the ones we listed on our website, like 40 emerging careers that is powered by technology, 40, we've listed 40. So it is, in answering that person's question, there are several emerging careers that you can get into that is powered by tech. And they are high income tech careers. Why did we start with the project management, especially in the academy, in the SFW Academy? It is because project management is almost a skill, even if it's a technical career, it's almost a skill that you can take from one place to the other. How do I mean? Like it is relevant everywhere and everybody needs them. It is relevant everywhere and everybody needs them. So there's a statistics that says that about 27 million project professionals will be needed by 2035 or thereabout. So what it means is the market is currently short. So I always say, whenever you're trying to get into a high income global career, always ask yourself, what is the longevity of that career? Will I still be relevant in this thing? Will cybersecurity still be relevant? Yes, because technology keeps emerging. And the more technology keeps evolving, there will be people threatening our tech. Like you would always have people, it's like people hacking your Instagram account, people hacking your Zoom account, people hacking your email. Those are hackers. So the cybersecurity person will always be important in trying to stop the bad guys. So what it means is that technology, that so far technology continues to exist, cybersecurity cannot go out of fashion. And so far business continues to exist, right? Or people continue to live. Project management cannot go into extinction because what is a project? Something that is towards a particular goal and it has a start and stop time. This webinar could be a project on my team, like, oh, we want to host a webinar, we want to do this, invite speakers and all that. It's a project. So what it means is people will continually need people in that way. So here is the assignment I'll give to the person that asked this question. Your work would then be, if you have gone through our WFS program, and even if you have not gone through our WFS program, there's a free version of it which tackles clarity. Take that clarity module. When you take that clarity module, whatever it is that your personality says, let's say it says, you're an advocate and all that, the 16 personalities test, when you take it, find out what kind of thing does your personality favor. So out of when you now find out, you now go, this is a personality I have. You will then take it to ChatGPT or Meta AI or whatever and go and ask it, this is my personality. I want to get into emerging tech career fields. What are the possible roles that I could earn a high income from? And you can also tell it that this is my current, what's it called? I currently do this. And there can be certain recommendations. So at that way, you can say, oh, I have 10 different options of emerging tech careers I can get into that, all I pay. Then we can then also do a bit of research on Glassdoor to find out what is the salary range of these ones that you have now come across. Then you make your decision from, okay, this one I can do it, I can learn, because there's different factors that determine how you choose beyond the high income. Do I have interest in it? Is it easy to learn? Like if you are going into a coding this thing, you can become a project manager. You can transition into project management in like 6 months, and you can start to deliver. You can't go into cybersecurity. I mean, in 6 weeks rather. In cybersecurity, you need to do more. You need to probably be able to get skilled at it. Probably need to invest another 6 months or there. So there are different things that you must put into consideration, and not just the high income. Those things helps you to determine if you should go ahead with one emerging tech careers. Now, the second part of the question this person asked was around, are there other skills that are marketable or can increase employability? The second aspect of the question is, are there other skills that can increase employability? Which brings me to the beginning. And what is the beginning? What exactly is employability? What is employability? Let's start from there. What is employability? That is the most asked question of us on Google. Like, what exactly is employability? I always say employability is you possessing the competences that employers are looking for. I repeat, employability is you possessing the competencies that employers are looking for. Now, what exactly does competencies that employers are looking for mean? It involves 3 major things. Competencies means the skills, the knowledge, and the attitude. Again, I repeat, employability means having the competencies that employers are looking for. Now, what exactly does competency mean in terms of employers? It means the skills, the knowledge, and the attitude. Now, let's take them one by one. Let's start from the knowledge. And I'll pick examples of careers. Let's pick project management. Project management is an emerging career, which you also offer at the academy. And if an employer say, do you have the competences of being my project manager? So the question you should be asking is, do I have the knowledge? Now, most people that have PMP and all those things have the knowledge because they have taken a certification in that area, right? They have taken it, so they have the knowledge. But that is 1/3 of what employers are seeking. Do I have the knowledge? So a course on whatever, on any platform can give you knowledge around a specific career. So again, why do you think most of us are not employable, even if we've gone to school? Let me give you a perfect example. You see someone that did mass comm, something, or even business administration, they accounting, they do something in school. They have the knowledge, but they are not employable. You know why? Knowledge is only 1/3 of what makes up employability. So I have the knowledge is not sufficient. It's not competency. Now I have the skills is the second part of competency when it comes to employability. So one of the things in my academy is when we are creating programs, we call them blueprint programs, meaning I have done it before, do it like this, blueprint, follow me, roadmap. So even if a blueprint program will contain the knowledge, it however contains the skills. I have seen different people who have taken PMP and all those things come on our program to come and take project management again. What do you think was lacking? In the first part, they had the knowledge, they read, they passed, they had the certification to say they have the knowledge. But there's a difference. The current facilitator that taught the project management course, he has field experience, rich experience, not knowledge. Knowledge is when I'm able to tell you that, there is initiation, there's planning, there's this thing. Talk you through the 5 stages of project management. Skills is when you come to class and I'm asking you, there's this project that was given by XYZ government, and it's a road construction project, and we're supposed to end it in this one, XYZ, but I cannot end it because XYZ has happened and XYZ has happened. Now we have a meeting with the stakeholders, and one of the things that a knowledgeable person, which is someone that read it in theory, will say, according to the project management rules, you must have planned for contingency. You ensure you ask them to use your 2 weeks contingency plan. We'll be talking theoretically and be telling you, use your contingency time, do your risk assessment, yada, 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 yada. They'll tell you all that. Do you understand? Because why? You read it in a book. In reality, when you are working with a certain kind of people and they have political whatever, that maybe the project has political will, meaning that project is going to help them score a card, you will now go and say, you go and be telling them how it's supposed to be done in project management. No, that is where skills come in. And skills typically go hand in hand with experience. Right? It comes in because that person will know that at that stage, you cannot use project management knowledge to get out of this situation. The person then teaches you, this is where you now bring your people skills. This is where you bring those skills that did not write inside that project management certification and apply it in those negotiations and in whatever it is. Because you are now playing in real life situations and scenarios. One of the major things we do across our project management program, and of course, product management and the content creation program, is we give you scenario week in, week out for across 6 weeks. You do it, and we start to point out to you. It's always like a very high scrutiny. Like, if this was real life, you just failed. If this was real life, you just failed. We start to point out those things, like, this would not fly. And I've seen some people say, but as in the course said, I say, yes, the course said, that is why we have a facilitator that is doing the work in real life. Do you understand? The course may say that the course or whatever is knowledge. When we start to practicalize with real world scenarios, it's a little different. I'll give you another example. There was a particular person handling a project in the Niger Delta, which is a volatile region. Now, in you handling a project in that region, do you know the community heads, all those people are part of your stakeholders? But again, if you read it in knowledge that when they did that thing, they did not take into cognizance the madness or the African voodoo and all those things. They didn't take that into cognizance. They didn't take that into cognizance. So I can bet you that a project management manager who has never taken any project management this thing will be a better project manager on that site if they've worked in that terrain, even if they don't have PMP and all those things. Why? They can manage, because the whole essence of a project manager is for you to ensure that you manage everybody on that project to deliver the results that you promised to your stakeholders. Simple. No matter how the definition go up, go down, bottom line is, I don't care all your methodologies and all those things. I care about, will you deliver what you say you will deliver when you say you will deliver it? Full stop. That is the work of a project manager. Now, the intricacies of it, the stakeholders don't want to know. So why do I say that? That makes up for employability. You are being the skills. Somebody who has been a project manager in the Niger Delta area with volatile experience, as in how volatile it is, that project manager will not tell you that, and you charter this, you scope this, you do this thing. They will amend that process. If what you need to do first is what is last on this, and they will amend it. Why? Because that is what is going to help them. Remember, the bottom line is, I will deliver what I say I will deliver with the result I say I will deliver it with, as at when I say I will deliver it. So, and why am I explaining all this? The question this person asked that increases your employability, I would say competencies. Competencies, knowledge, skills, and I always bundle skills and experience together, because with experience, with skills comes experience, as in you being able to do something, as in do it practically, is where the skills come in. Now, the third competency is the attitude. When you're asking, what can I do to increase my employability? And I am talking from a global perspective. I am talking as someone who has been hired as a global program coordinator with no certification whatsoever, with no degree on education in it. What I had was the skills and the experience to deliver on that job. I had absolutely no knowledge of it. No knowledge, nothing, no paper knowledge, no book knowledge, nothing, absolutely nothing. And I got hired at Museum for the United Nations. I'm saying it is not just one of those free Uplands work, happy Upwork freelance work. No, I'm talking about, like I said, global program coordinator. I was in charge of managing a project that was taking place across 23 global locations, 6 time zones. So in that regard, you think that if I brought that and somebody else has experience and somebody else brought, I have PMP, who will they hire? I have competence. I have done this in real life, as in forget all the book. I have managed projects across time zones. So I understand the peculiarities of that. So even if the job advert, the initial job advert for that thing say something project manager will be and this experience, well, guess what? I got the job over somebody that had that knowledge. So if you even had to weigh competences, as in terms of, even if 3 things make up competences in terms of employability in the global distinct, please know that that middle one, that skills, it's a little bit supersedes the first one. It is, and I'm talking about for emerging careers, project management, program coordination, all this emerging careers. You know why it's the middle one a bit supersedes that? It is because for emerging careers, there's a statistics that says that only 12% of African universities offer courses in emerging careers, project management or anything. So we are currently in a phase where the employers of labor know that you most likely will not have studied that thing at the university. So there is no degree for it as of when you finished. So they know that what they are really looking for is not that degree. So they are basically looking for those with that middle, the skills and experience in it. So what it means is when they say something is an added advantage, this certification is an added advantage, It doesn't, is added, that the true word is added advantage. It's just an advantage. When they get you into the interview room, they would take the person who are saying, I used to do this thing. This is how I would do this thing. Over the person that says, I have 3 certifications in project management. Why? Because it is the middle one, the skills and experience that will deliver the work. Now, the third one is the attitude to the work. In the global space, what does attitude really mean in terms of employability? I always say if you intend to work in the global space and you have no space on your CV that shows you are volunteered, you are joking. You are really joking. Like, why I say you are joking? How do you think they check your attitude? You cannot do anything that does not involve payments. All your life, you have 16 years of career, and all they are seeing on your CV, all they are seeing on your LinkedIn, all they are seeing is all the things you've done for only money. How do I check your attitude that you're a great person? And that is one mistake experienced people make. They keep pushing. I say, see, until you have something that somebody can use to say that you're a decent human being in terms of attitude. One of the major things I asked in my interview, and that is why my interview is kind of radical. My interview, like when I'm interviewing you, I interview you for attitude. My interview is kind of radical. When you come and interview for me, I ask certain questions that will make me determine the kind of person you are. Quick, 2 questions. I won't talk about those questions here. But for every candidate I ask that question, they take a moment to just say, oh, wow. Like, ChatGPT will not suggest that kind of, no matter the preparation you do with those ChatGPT, this thing, they will not ask you the kind of question I will ask you that will help me determine attitude-wise. ChatGPT will never tell you how to prepare for that kind of testing because it will not even suggest it as a question. So for every time I ask that question in an interview, the interviews stop and they have to answer off their head. And they're like, oh, wow. I think I would just go ahead. From how they say what they say, I can determine if you will join my team or not. And I learned that thing from applying year on year, global opportunities year in, year out. There are some global opportunities you will feel. International ones, they will ask you, have you volunteered before? Have you volunteered before? If you have not, give us reasons why. And I'm just looking at people that, what do you think employability really means in the global space? But I see a lot of people, they will say they want to earn a global income. They want to increase their employability. Please remember, what did we say employability is? Employability is having the competencies that global employers want. And what are competencies? Competencies are knowledge, skills bundled with experience, and attitude. The first one, knowledge, is what most Africans concentrate on. And in their attempts to become more employable globally, they keep packing on top of the first one. They pack it and pack it and pack it. Take certification in this, take certification in that. I said, my sister and brother, all you have just checked is the knowledge. You have only checked the knowledge. You are still lacking in 2. You are lacking in 2. And remember, employability is having the competencies that employers want, not what you think they want. You think they want more certifications, they don't. I always tell people that when you are trying to chase a goal, ask what is required, what is the eligibility. Again, I have been applying for global opportunities since 2016. So the first thing I teach my students is always, please check the eligibility. So when you are gathering documents, when you are gathering things to fit into that opportunity, you are not gathering what is not needed. It's like you are playing, like, let me say, a checklist. That is how I do those things. Whenever I'm trying to get into somewhere, like, what is a checklist? Like, if I'm trying to apply for, let me say, a global grant or whatever, I first go and look at eligibility. Okay, this is this thing. There are some things I take 1 year to prepare for 1 year. But maybe they said they will need something for 12 months, and I can't this thing. And I said, where I am right now, I will need to start again. I first define what I need based on the criteria of those who are setting that standard. Then I work my life towards it. Simple. I work my life towards it. And that is what you should do. So when people come to the academy and they're asking us what I have taken project management this, I said, my sister, you have 1 out of 3. You have knowledge. Do you have skills? And the project management, whatever that you took, were you doing live scenarios? Were you doing live project? Did you work with people? Did your mentor walk you through this thing? Did you intern? And they start to look at me like, but I have a PMP. I say, my sister, you will not be here asking me this question if your PMP had gotten you the opportunity that you were seeking. So the question is, if me I've gotten it, ask me how. Ask me how. And I'm telling you, this is my how. And this is what exactly I've also helped other people do. This is how my other people that have gotten jobs above $10,000 have done it. It is what it is. If you don't set the standard, you do not determine what they ask. You simply make yourself align with what they ask. That is how to increase your employability. Full stop. So I've answered the question in full. I first answered, is it just project management, product management, and code that the first technical skill that you can earn any high income from? No. If you go to our website, there are 40 emerging careers that they've listed as cybersecurity. In fact, names you've never heard of. Now, I would say if you can look up those 40 emerging careers or something like that, you now ask yourself, next thing is, out of these 40 emerging careers, which one are forward-facing roles? Which one aligns with my personality? If you don't know exactly how to even start with that clarity session, pick up, there's a particular, we have on the Workplace Fundamental Skills Program, the module 1 of it, which is free to access. Pick it up. If you're on Zoom, if you are here and you've never taken that, please let the person pick it up. Understand what career path will suit your personality. Then look at maybe the 40 emerging careers that we have listed and say, oh, Moina, please, you can find that image of 40 emerging careers somewhere on CPN or something. As in find it, look through, look at all those things will give you money. They'll give you good money. So it doesn't matter what you do, right? So it is from that point you now say, okay, out of this 40, which one seems like something I want to, work around or work with or be in the long term? When you determine that, you of course go to LinkedIn. Of course, we still show you how to do that on WFS. Go to LinkedIn. When you get to LinkedIn, find that kind of job that you've now chosen. When you find it, find how much you are paying. You understand if it is high income or not. When you then find that, then you ask questions of because when you go to LinkedIn and search for those jobs, you can determine if it is a high in demand. It can be a high income, but not high in demand. So it must be a high income, high in demand. Project management are why I always put project management is because there's statistics that backs project management up. Content creation, there is statistics. There is absolutely no time you go and you're not seeing plenty open this thing for content strategies. I did not say people that just carry camera and say hi and be dancing. I'm talking about content strategies that know how to define customer persona, that know how to strategize for a campaign or the launch. Like, oh, we want to launch a particular product. We can sit down and strategize for the content that will be, that will attack different customer personas in the entire launch. That is content strategy. That is what I teach at the academy. I don't teach light camera action. That is not content. Content is the messaging, not the light camera action. Light camera action is just the format of delivery of it. Do you understand? No matter how great your light camera action is, if the message is lacking, you're not creating content. You're just dancing, right? So again, it's just format. First, what is the depth of the content? The kind of content creators or content strategists, that is the word. If you are ever searching for high-paying content roles, don't search content creator. Search content strategists on LinkedIn. That is the kind of people they pay well globally, content strategists. That can say, oh, they understand products. They understand the product life cycle. A content strategist must understand the product life cycle of the product. They understand they can do customer research, they can do customer avatar, customer persona. When they understand that customer, then they start to create content, strategies, calendar, matrix that fits the different times of that customer journey before they now go and create the content in different formats for different platforms. Then they come back and do data analysis. They know how to use CRM. They know how to use data tools. A content strategist must know how to then say, this is the Google Analytics. I'm analyzing the result of this content. It was dropping. It was increasing. This is the thing. This is how we then amend it. This is how we increase. That is the work of a content strategist. That is what I teach at the academy. I don't teach light camera action. I think it's probably just one module that talks about, okay, you can now create videos. Like I always say, those are tutorials. As in teaching, old phone, like it's a tutorial. It's a YouTube knowledge. No, it's a YouTube knowledge. Content strategy is not YouTube knowledge. It's depth, it's experience. Do you understand? That is how it works. So please always note. I always say, in fact, it is important that you are knowing what it is named, what that, because content strategy is it like technical, is it actually technical writing, is a technical career. But content, this thing is not like, let me say content creator, or it is not a technical career. Do you understand? But they both have content at the beginning. They are two different things. They are two different things. Please take note of that. They are two different things, but they both have content and at the beginning, yeah. So now in terms of products, this thing, which is a third thing the guy asked as in that is easy. Product is, in fact, I think product managers command the IRP because they are more like entrepreneurs. They have to think about the product, innovate it, deliver it, and things like that. So it is scarce. But I always say, if you're in Africa, I would advise you to take project management over products. Why? Innovation is just starting in Africa. And it is a place where innovation thrives that they need product management the most. So how do I explain it? If you have product management skills and experience, most likely you command the IRP in the global scene. But it is harder to find job as a product manager here because innovation does not really thrive here. Do you understand this thing? Like I was saying, for instance, now there's someone that was going to hire a product manager out of Africa. It was for a US company, and they reached out to me to say, oh, I should recommend someone from the academy, and I did. Do you understand? And I did. So again, they were hiring out of the US. It was not a Nigerian company hiring, like it was not in Nigeria as well, an African business in hiring. So I always say, if you are skilled enough, you could get opportunities outside the country, but the opportunities are not a lot within Africa. Unlike project management that in Africa, outside Africa, it is like for every time I search on LinkedIn for project managers, I see over 50,000 open jobs. I kid you not. 50,000 open jobs. Nothing less than 10,000 of that to be remote. Out of that 10,000, there will be some that are saying that we are open to people from all nationalities, nothing less than 5,000. Open to people from 16% of companies in the US hire out of Africa. So whenever people come and tell me and say things like, Doc, but we see LinkedIn jobs and they say it's only open to people in the US, I'll just be laughing. Or they say something, it's only open to people of the nationality. I said, but me, I worked for Natural History Museum of London that is headquarters in Denmark. I worked for Natural History Museum of London that is based in the UK, but they're only hiring their nationalities. They play. Because in all honesty, like it is just a mindset issue. There is what the fact that it has never happened to your circle does not mean it doesn't happen. Are the opportunities not as high? Of course, like I say, it's like you're in Nigeria and you see an opening in Nigeria and they say it's only open to Nigerian national. That is the same way it is. But there are some that are open to people that are outside. Like, in fact, there should be a quota. Like, Nigerian government will say, oh, for every company, even if you're a multinational, you must hire X, Y, Z if you're operational. That is the way it is. But they would have given them a percentage that they can hire out of their location. So my thing to you is always find the ones that they have allocated to the diaspora and key into it. And stop wasting your time on the ones that they have clearly said it is not for people of your nationality. Why are you fetching water into a basket? So whenever I see people come and ask me, but Doc, I find that job on LinkedIn and they say it's only open to people in the US. I say, oh, so what do you want me to do? Go find the ones that is open to people that is outside the place that they have said. It is an eligibility. You are not eligible. There is absolutely no way that you can compete for a job that you're not eligible for. Be eligible first, then implement what I teach you. What I teach you cannot swap away your eligibility. It does not take away, like, I do not apply for opportunities I'm not eligible for. It is a waste of my time. Be eligible, then apply the strategies I teach you, then get into that space. It's that simple, Sefini. So me that I know that maybe it is 26% they have allocated, 16%, whatever it is they allocated, I'll now tell you that if they say there are only 100 jobs and they allocate 15 to people in diaspora, the question now is if they are going to pick only 15 out of 100, I must be among those 15. That is how I then play. That is when expertise now comes in. That is where people now come and say, oh, doc, how do I then ensure that if they are picking 15 people, then I can teach you this is what you need to do. For experienced persons, for instance, I teach them those strategies on GOP. I said, when I teach you to finish packaging your profile on LinkedIn, it is you or you. In fact, they will be reaching out to you. No, not you applying. They will be, it will not even be an application conversation. It will be like, oh, we saw your profile. We'd like to have a chat. That is the kind of level you will be in. So that, and one of the reasons I started teaching professional, I always say that you're already old. You're already above 40. So age is a disadvantage. I said, but when you attract an opportunity, it is a different conversation. They are not asking you all those nonsense. They're not asking you how old you are. They already saw the value of it. So you have cut away all those barriers that somebody else that is applying will have. You have cut away the barriers and you simply get an easy pass. So nobody is asking your age, your nationality, your country, because they have seen the value and they want you on the team. They have seen the value and they want you to. The interview is always very fast. Like it's always a very short. The opportunity I was referring to that somebody called me on, the person reached out to me on December 25. I said they needed a program manager fast. I sent somebody a message that finished from the academy and said, this is the opportunity. I copied this person in the email. This person replied the email. By 27th, they set up an interview for 10 p.m. Nigerian time. By 12 p.m., they finished their interview. By 1 a.m., they are sent an offer. Those kind of interviews, there's no, you cannot be talking long thing. Like, see, the deals close fast because they need you and they have seen that you are competent. You are competent. So please, competency is not about just packing more certifications, which fulfills only the knowledge gap. Make sure you are fulfilling the skills and experience gap at the middle, and you are fulfilling the attitude gap. The fastest way to show in the global space that you're a good human is by ensuring you have volunteering on your CV. If you don't, go get one. Now, that question took me about 30 minutes to answer. If you now have more questions, I'll be willing to take questions on Zoom around how you can, what's the question, the distance is how to earn a high global income or advance your career. If you have questions around that, I've tackled the first question already. Which of the 4 technical skills is easy to learn in-depth for beginners? In-depth. Which of the 3 technical skills is easy to learn in-depth for beginners? Easy to learn. I would say project management is easier, next to content strategy, next to products. And why do I say so? You can use common sense to carry project management. I don't know how to explain this. It is, even if project management has methodologies, like you have the waterfall methodology, you have the agile methodology, it is not as mentally tasking as product management or as content strategy. On the content course in the academy, one of the things I taught them is how to write search engine optimized LinkedIn articles that they can then write for LinkedIn company, as in pages, companies that have LinkedIn pages, they can charge for. So, although if you are in Nigeria or Africa, it's funny. Content creation is higher in demand than project management. As funny as that, and you know why? We are in the entrepreneurial economy in Africa. And every entrepreneur or business owner needs a content creator. Again, I changed my word, needs a content strategist to sell, because The world has now evolved, especially in 2025, where content marketing is the #1 marketing strategy, like the #1 marketing you need to get right as a business owner. So it doesn't even matter if you're a one-man business owner, you need a content strategist. But you can be a one-man business owner and not need a project manager. So because a lot of businesses, people are then doing SMEs. So content strategies are higher in demand within Nigeria or most African countries, whereas globally, project management is higher in demand. So basically, let's look at it in such a way. And however, content, if I see the way my interns have approached, beginner interns have approached this, it was easier for a beginner that learns project management to implement it in my business than for them to implement product management. Product management was the hardest for them to implement next to content creation, as in for them to then get started in, because it's mentally tasking to think through. Like, strategy is dense. Project management does not require strategy. Like, you are using brain to think and do, how do we do this customer? Product management does, content strategy does. It requires brain to think, like, but project management is a defined methodology. Like, follow like this, follow like this. Content and product is not like that. Like, if you are doing product innovation, you can say, this product, if you do this market research, you now come back, they'll now give you results. After you collect Google form, you now realize that these customers don't want this product. You need to go back to the drawing board and start doing ideation. And like, so product management will stress your life in terms of working on it. But then they pay them well in the global space. So when you talk about easy to learn for a beginner, I will arrange it in project management, content, products. That is how easy it is to learn and implement for a beginner. How do we go about volunteering and where? So there are two things I recommend to the people on my Global Opportunities program. I would say there are open volunteering roles on LinkedIn, which is a kind of long course, not a short course. However, there are people within your locality that you have experience. Let me give you an example. Let's say you have experience with business development. Maybe you do it in your career, you're an experienced person, business development. And there is, in fact, let me give you a perfect example. My son's secondary school, the PTA executive, they appointed me as, what's that thing? Is it PR, as in PRO and her? Yeah. Of my experience in marketing and, branding and all that stuff. Now, that is a volunteering stuff. If I wanted to use it to get something in the abroad, you will see I will write about that experience, how I am contributing to that school. Do you understand? Some of you are probably executive on your children's PTA board, but you see, one of the things I teach in GOP is how to extract your intangible experience and magnify it to meet global standard. I always tell, in fact, if you go to LinkedIn page, I always say, you already have the experience, you are only underpositioned. Many people don't see what I see. You know why? Because you have not seen what I see. You have not seen what is required in the global space. So you don't even know that what you have. So at the very beginning, there's an exercise I make professionals do on the GOP. It's called the clarity exercise. One of the clarity exercises I give them is journaling, 10 years journaling. There's a particular step-by-step way it has to do. You write this, you write this, you write this. By the time they are done doing that exercise, which takes them about a week, you can imagine your own life experience. I asked to go and write. You will now see people be saying, Doc, I'm stuck. Why? Because they've never approached their own life from that angle. Then I then tell them, after you're done writing, I like this. Then they start to see the intangibles of what they have done that we can then package into the global competency thing. That is what I basically do on the GOP. I said, bring what you have. Let's see how we can extract this, and write another story around it to fit your competency checklist. Sometimes I see a lot of professionals and they were like, because I feel like I want to do. I said, stop. Before you do another certification, stop. Go and get on the GOP first. Let's even see if what you have is enough. Like, you have enough, most likely. You just don't know it. You don't know how to extract the value out. That is what you probably need. Instead of paying for another Ivy League MBA, and you're still fulfilling just one. So volunteering for me, depending on the situation, I could cite my son's PT executive role. And all I needed to do was what? Give advice around, oh, this is how we market the school. Let's do the school like this. That is all I needed to do. I already have the experience. I do it in my business daily, how to market and sell. I do it in my business. Do I have a degree in marketing and sales? No, not even a certification in it. But I have experience in it from running my business. So I can offer it as a volunteering to such an organization. And I'm going to refer to it. So why did I say that some of you, volunteering experience is closer to you than you think, but you don't know it. So that's why the long shot is go to LinkedIn, find some opportunities, which is what there's somebody from Large Batch for WFS also got this volunteering stuff in Ghana. They went to LinkedIn, they applied the same thing I asked them to do from WFS. They applied it because in module 6 of WFS, I teach you how to, it's called a self-selling module. If you've taken WFS, module 6 of WFS, I taught you how to do self-selling, as in how to quote, pitch people on LinkedIn and things like that. And yeah, I taught you how to do all that. So you can apply module 6, the lessons of module 6 of the WFS, to go and do the stuff on LinkedIn and reach out and you get those things. But again, there are some things that are closer to you than you expect. I have over 14 years experience in sales and marketing in product and a service. I need your advice on what to do. Thanks. That's not a question, please. That's not a question. You just stated your experience. You said you need my advice on what to do. What to do regarding what? Do you understand? Like, so it's like, it's a very blank, open-ended question. I have 14 years experience in marketing and sales in product and service. I need your advice on what to do. Like, it's a very open-end question. Like, what to do with regards to what? I don't know if you get what I'm saying. Like, with regard, like, I can't answer that question. I will be answering it blindly. I don't have a guided conversation. Like, I don't know how, from what angle you are asking me that question. So Ibukun, could you rephrase your question to better guide me? Like, I need to, okay, like, I don't know how I need to help you with that. Like, give me better perspective. Like, oh, I need your advice because I'm currently trying to change my career, or I'm currently trying to get a remote role, or I'm currently trying to transition industries. Do you understand? Like, I need something I need to advise you on. I cannot advise you on, I have 14 years of experience. It is a fact. You just stated a fact. So please kindly reframe your question. Thank you, Doc. Without getting to ask my question, you have answered it. It's about getting into a productive line of engagement with my personality as a mediator. You advise to chat on G. I sent in a question. What are the most in-demand skills for INFPTs and my personality INF intermediator? What employment or line of career should I take up at age 53? And I already have a lot of suggestions. Thank you. I'll pursue this. Fantastic. What is GOP? What is GOP, please? This is GOP, Global Opportunities Program, not Global Opportunities Program is a program that I run under my personal brand for professionals. It's an application-only program where I teach professionals professionals, founders, and academics with at least 5 years of experience how to use the experience you already have to secure global opportunities. So what I teach them is my PPP framework. What is PPP? PPP means profile building, platform optimization, positioning. That is what PPP means, meaning I teach them how to build a profile from the experience you already have. So I'll extract all these intangible things and bring it out. Then when they make up that profile, we write it in different formats. Some of the profile will go into their about section of LinkedIn. Some will go into their LinkedIn header. Some will go into the top of their, that profile summary on their CV. Some will go as a third person that they can put on their personal website. Some will go as profile that they can put on Medium. Different things, as in different versions. When they finish building that content that showcases their value and also has all the keywords for the kind of experience they are trying to attract, then we then teach them the next thing, which is to optimize the LinkedIn profile to suit the kind of opportunities they want to attract. Now, global opportunities is not just about job, especially for experienced persons. That is where people always get it wrong. More than 50% of the people that join the GOP are not looking for a job. I kid you not. They're not looking for a job. Over 50%. They are looking for global recognition, looking for a word. They're looking to get to the apex of their career. They are looking for fulfillment. They are looking to start NGOs. They're looking to start initiatives. They're looking to be called. They're looking to get featured on media. They're looking to be awarded stuff. They are looking to build an enterprise. They are, different categories of global opportunities. Job is just one of the 10 or 11 that they are trying to get. So typically, when professionals come with those different things, then you say, okay, which is why I teach a framework. The framework ensures that, for instance, I've worked with people from over 27 career paths, like industry career, titles. And I've worked with people from 2 years of experience to over 32 years of experience using the same framework. What does it mean? It simply means that the exercise they do at the beginning, which is a clarity they do at the beginning, determines how you implement your PPP. So at the beginning of the PPP framework is always a clarity exercise. What does clarity exercise involve? Meaning, my sister, brother, write what what you have and where you are going. Of course, in a guided way. I don't just tell them to do that, or else they will write and not bring out, they won't bring me what they can use. It will not be useful. So there are 3 different exercises I give to them to go and get that done. And that is the hardest part. People don't realize it. I always tell people that by the time they get to the LinkedIn optimization course on the GOP, because the GOP has 2 major courses. It has the profile, it has a clarity and the profile course, a 5-hour course. It has the LinkedIn optimization and LinkedIn positioning course, another 5-hour course. People always think the LinkedIn is the hardest. I always say you can optimize your LinkedIn in 3 hours. Like, it's a platform. It's just, I'll say, do this. Like, do you understand what I'm saying? It is a platform. It is a technicality, meaning do this like this on this platform, how this. Do you understand? But you see the first one of actually bringing out the content that is going to help people reach out to you is the hardest. And that is what people take a long of time in implementing, because they will. I've worked with professionals, academics, professors from universities, ex-presidential experience, name it. It is the same thing. That is the hardest part. They will now come and some of them go and be reaching out to their colleagues because they can't even remember the statistics I'm asking them to bring. They don't know it. They never knew it existed. They will now go and start asking questions. So some of them will go 1 week. They've not even figured out how to write what they need to write. But some of them also come on the program and think they can jump it. I say, see, if you don't sort that first one, every other thing we do, we are fetching water into a basket. LinkedIn does not. Why do you think most people that contracted their LinkedIn optimization, why do you think it does not work? They say that person does not know work. It is not because the person does not work. The person doesn't just know that what works. You don't. I always say, please, let's take a moment to reflect as professionals before we give out contracts to people to do something for us. What is optimization? What the word optimization, English optimization, what is optimization? Optimization means something that is working, you are optimizing it to get to its maximum potential. That is what optimization means. Meaning, this thing, I want to optimize it. Meaning, this thing is working, and I want to get the best, the most optimal nature of it. But it was working first. Do you understand? So if the content that you have put into the LinkedIn, in the about section in this thing, is not first working, there's nothing to optimize. Do you understand? They're not optimizing. So what many people are saying, I'm doing LinkedIn this thing for you, do is they take your CV and build you a status quo profile. I call it a status quo profile, a third person profile, a very robotic AI profile. You'll be seeing, they will build you a link over that is referring to you in third person. Adering Solar is an excellent this thing. In the last 3 years, Adering Solar has, they are referring you. It is like LinkedIn is a personal website kind of stuff. And you are writing about yourself in third person. I say, are you the president of the United States of America? Those are the kind of people that are permitted, or that are permitted to have that kind of profile, to write in third person. Every other person, you're not. You're not. So technically, that is what we cover on the GOP Live. You then build the profile, then we optimize the platform, and then I teach you how to then write articles. Article is one of the major things I use to position. I kid you not. I've been doing this since when? Even before I started iTraffic in 2020. It is when I was doing it for people, it was working, and I started to teach it. Do you understand? For money. I was doing it for people like, Jerry, how are you doing this? I said, it's easy now. They say, no, it's not easy. Me, I've done it, it's not working. Do you understand? I started to teach my framework. Do you understand? Like, that's how I started teaching it. And I think I've worked with professionals from nothing less than 15 countries at this point. UK, US, Canada, Kenya, Cameroon, Zimbabwe, DRC, Liberia. I've lost count of the number of people that have gone through that program, because before I even started SFW, Skid for Work Academy, I was already teaching this. Like how to attract global opportunity. I was already teaching this. So it's an application-only program. Like I need to know that you're a good fit. So I always say, I teach founders. I don't teach business owners. Like founders, there's a difference between founders and business owners. Founders are people that have visionary businesses, businesses that we can write. There's a vision, there's a mission, there's somewhere it is going, not stomach infrastructure. That they are two different things. Do you understand? I Train Africa Skip for Work is a visionary this thing. There's the kind of thing we want to achieve kind of stuff. So that is how that works. So if you're interested in the GOP, you can just go to, let me see, itrainafrica.com/.com. Moina, you can drop the link, itrainafrica.com LinkedIn offer. That's the URL. itrainafrica.com LinkedIn offer. Go there, you'll see all the information you need about the Global Opportunities Program. You see all the information you need around it. You can click it, you can apply for the GOP. It's called the GOP there. Yeah, this is it. And there are countless number. You will probably just keep going through different people that this has worked for us. And this is Abel. This was January 2024. He joined me December or November of 2023. By 13th of January, was like, hello there, all. It was sending to we have a group. So the way the program works is it has elements of 2 online courses, bonus 6 weeks live workshop. For 6 weeks, we come on live workshops, implement together. We have a 3-month support, like in a WhatsApp network and all that. Then we have templates. I give them template of my CV that I've used, template of my cover letter, template of my LinkedIn banners, my LinkedIn article banner. I think we give them about 6 different templates as bonuses on that program. I know, because every week we are giving them one template or the other. So there are definitely about 6 different templates. Okay, another template we give them is the template of the kind of content that is working, which is the carousel content on LinkedIn. That is the most important content right now on LinkedIn this year, carousel content. So there's a whole lot that I talk about this thing. So I always tell people, please, people will come and ask me, do you do LinkedIn automation? I say, no, I teach you. I'm a global opportunities expert. LinkedIn is only 1 out of the 5 things we teach on the GOP, because LinkedIn is where we now post what we have built, not the major things we are concerned about. You can optimize LinkedIn for all I care. It doesn't work because you do not do the first and second thing that you're supposed to do. Another thing I've seen people do, or people do read these days, is they'll say they are doing LinkedIn challenge. 21 things LinkedIn and get visible. I say you are getting visible. You've not learned how to build profile. You've not built profile. You think visibility that meets rubbish turns to anything. When I see people celebrating 10,000 LinkedIn followers, I said, I have clients with 163 LinkedIn connections that are getting reached out of in Africa to come and add oil and gas. 163. Let's be clear. Quantity is not what sells on LinkedIn. Quality is what sells. So what I would typically teach my clients, I said, if you are trying to look for global opportunities using LinkedIn, come to me. If you are trying to gather followers and connections, please go and join those LinkedIn challenges. I'm not the person to teach you because I do not care. I care about what it delivers to me on the long run. I cannot be popular and broke. Do you understand? I can't be popular and broke. As in, it's not a good combination. I don't want popularity that there's no money inside or there's no opportunity inside. I want opportunity before we now become, say, 10,000 LinkedIn. This. If I wanted followers, I'd now have exceeded the number I have since. Me, that'll be people will send me connection requests. Sometime last month, in one day, I got 82 connection requests. I declined all on LinkedIn. Why? As in one of the things I teach people on my distance, I said, please, don't go and accept nonsensical into your connection. No. You are doing yourself a disservice if you don't know. I've seen clients that join my GOP program. Hey, like they will go and start unfriending, unconnecting with all the people that they have connected with before. Like they will go and start removing them. When they now understand what it really means to have certain people in your connection, they remove them. So this was Abel. Abel is from Cameroon. I think this was it got reached out to her. You can say I received notification from LinkedIn that Hello Tomorrow team members checked out my LinkedIn profile these days. And the good news is that I have been selected as a lead volunteer at the next Hello Tomorrow Global Summit in Paris in 2024 March. I'll be leading the yada. I'll be leading the Frontier stage team made of 9 volunteers. So that person that was asking about volunteer, these things are real, trust me. But this one, the Hello Tomorrow team checked out his profile on LinkedIn and reached out. As I always say, do the work of learning how to build the profile and position. It is always easier when the opportunity comes to you than when you go searching for the opportunity. Trust me, like it is easier. This same Abel, Cameroon, 6 months down the line, he has gotten another one to Brussels. Do you understand? 6 months down the line. So one of the beautiful things I've seen on the GOP is that one person will attract multiple opportunities. Multiple. There is a client of mine that has attracted 7 categories of opportunities. I did not say opportunities, I said 7 categories. Speaking engagement, international travel, business grants, CEO role. One person since the last 3 years. Using the same thing she learned 3 years ago, over and over, rinse and repeat, doing the same thing. So I say this thing, it doesn't stop working. It stops working when you stop wanting it to work. But you have to first understand how to do it. Like this was the person I was talking about that recently, March. This person joined 3 years ago. As at March, someone is still reaching out to her on LinkedIn to say, attract CEO, like come and be a CEO of our company. LinkedIn. The power. Please, if you're a professional and you are here and you do not have a plan yet for your visibility, please do yourself a favor and get on GOP. That is all I'm going to say. I say it's actually a favor to yourself. So if that person that probably has 14 years of experience is saying, what do you do next? Maybe whatever it is you do next, make sure the plan includes how you become visible to the people that may have the opportunities you seek. And just in case you don't understand the opportunities you seek, the preliminary part of the program, which is a clarity aspect, helps you to understand what you can do with the opportunities you seek. But if your question is the fact that you need skills that can help you work remotely, then you need to get on the WFS if you have not, because with marketing or sales, you have the technical experience, but you still need to be able to have the remote worker skill, which is covered on WFS. So you have the skills to deliver work remotely. But in then trying to then get all these high-paying opportunities to attract them, you will need the framework that is on GOP. And you can go to that thing that Marina has dropped. And yeah, you can see it there. So I think I've explained that. I think I've also done. Also, I need your office address, 117 Heritage Mall, Heritage Cinema Mall, Abulegba. Please also note that all our programs are online. Even consultation sessions are paid sessions and they are online. See, Marina has dropped that. So it's just my staff that resume at their on-site. There's nothing, absolutely nothing that happens on-site in my organization. All our programs are online. So please take note of that. Because sometimes I've seen people come to our office, they will ask Marina for this thing, then they come. And probably I'm just in meetings throughout and I have an inner office. So they'll be like, oh, they thought that when they come, they will see me. I say, even consultation sessions, I don't take them in person, I take them online. You understand? There's nothing I'm doing physically with you. So it's as now since some people will go and say, they are disappointed they did not see me. I say, but I told you, like, you can't just like if you have any inquiry, I handle it, whether it is online, that's Moina, or on site. Moina handles it. So but some people have actually come out and they just say, oh, they just want to come and they say, that's fine, please, that's our office. In fact, some people have walked in without even calling us. You understand? But we've also had cases like what I just explained. So I always say, please, every time somebody asks that question, please put out that disclaimer so that we don't have a situation where somebody will come all the way and say, I wanted to come because I wanted to see Dr. Jerry. So it doesn't happen at our on-site location. So I think I have spent 1 hour tonight in taking questions. If you have more questions, I do not see them here. I do not see them here, this thing. And if you're interested in getting into a high income career, please, our project management program is your go-to. Trust me. Why do I say that? I'm the one that took the content course, so, but I realized that somebody's brain needs to be, you need to love marketing for you to take the content course. I kid you not. You need to love, like you like to sell before you can decide to make a career in the content course. So if you don't like to sell, you don't like to market, content may not be a good place for you. You don't like to innovate, product may not be good for you. If you also don't like managing people, project is not good for you. So please, you need to choose the one that you best love to do and start a career in it. We start our next round of project management, product management, content creation on May 14. Sorry, did I say May 14? May 24. That's next week, Saturday. Yes, next week, May 24, like in 10 days, not next week, but in 10 days. Yeah, it's actually next week. Next week, Saturday, we start the onboarding. People who have paid us have already gotten access to their courses. They are getting ready to properly start on May 24. So yeah, that is probably your roadmap on how you start to get a high income career. And I hope you took something out of this session. Thank you so much. I've spent 1 hour and 10 minutes with you teaching. I had an amazing time. Have a good night rest. Have a good night rest, everyone. I'm going to stop sharing screen. Moina. Yeah, 1 hour, 10 minutes delivered. Bye, everyone.